G'day everyone, welcome to class. If it's your first time visiting this channel, my name's Sam and I would love it if you could please like and subscribe to the channel. And we're trying really hard to get more eyes on these videos, so hopefully in 2021 more people can start to practice yoga. Today's class, we're going to think of this like a full body reset. So if you spend a lot of time sitting down, whether you're working in an office or you're driving to and from, or maybe you're working from home, it's good to break up the day. And I know these days even things like your smartwatch, your Apple Watch will give you a notification to tell you to stand up when you've been sitting for too long. And I know when I first saw that I thought it was really unnecessary, but it does help. Sometimes you need that reminder. So think of this practice as a way to break up your day and get the whole body moving. It's called the full body reset, and when you're ready, we'll get right into it. So maybe you're on your lunch break, maybe you just told your boss you're going to the bathroom, or maybe you snuck out of that meeting that you really don't want to be a part of. We're going to get right into the work, so come to stand, separate the feet a little bit wider than hip width distance, have those toes turning out wider than the heels. And this part, don't worry if you start to feel silly, you can close the eyes. I'm doing it in front of the cameras, so it's all good. We're just going to hang the arms down by the side, close the eyes, and just sway from side to side. If you have been spending a lot of time stationary, it's important just to get a little bit of natural rotation through your spine. So as you let those arms just sway out towards the side, be mindful if you're in a crowded area that you're not going to smack anyone in the face. You have enough room to allow yourself to move. You can let the knees bend. We're just trying to be a little less rigid for a moment and just feel a little more space. Taking a few deep breaths here. Here just for another 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. As we slow it down, we'll walk the feet together, a little more of a natural hip width distance apart, and start to reach the arms up nice and tall. Take an inhale. From here, let your right hand catch hold of your left wrist above your head. Start to reach that left arm up higher. Take an inhale. Then exhale, we'll take a gentle side bend off to the right hand side. As we do, we'll let the hips start to jut out to the left a little and take the gaze underneath the left armpit. Just feeling more length through the left hand side of the body. Still standing rather firm through the legs. Take an inhale. Take one more like that, full breath. Gently bring those hips back through center, just swapping onto the other side. So left hand will catch hold of the right wrist this time. Inhale to grow tall. Exhale, side bend to the left. Hips move to the right. Gaze under that right armpit. These muscles of the side waist, the obliques, always tend to get super tight, especially during long periods of sitting. So stretching into the side body, always super important. Can feel pretty intense, so breathe a little slower if you can. Take an inhale. And gently come back through center. Let your arms just rest down by the side for a moment. Give them a little chance to shake out. And then from here, we'll help to release into the neck. So what we're going to do is take this left arm behind our back and work to get the back of the hand up nice and high, up the length of the spine. So you might need to shimmy, 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 and wiggle it up nice and high. And then your right hand's going to work behind and maybe catch hold of the left forearm, or if there's more space, right hand will catch hold of the left elbow. So you're trying to draw the shoulder blades back towards each other. Press the back of that left hand into your upper back. And then very slowly, just drop your left ear, or your right ear I should say, over towards your right shoulder. Feeling that space, that length through the left side of your neck there. Maybe play with lifting the chin, lowering it, maybe turning it off towards the side, just feeling where along that journey feels better for you. And then bringing your head back through center, we'll swap to the other side. So a nice easy transition from here. You're going to take the right hand up nice and high, and then the left hand's going to catch hold of either the elbow or the forearm. And then same deal, we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades back towards each other, press the back of the right hand into the upper back, and then nice and easy, this time we're going to lower left ear over towards the left shoulder. Relish in the opportunity to close your eyes. Perhaps, like me, a lot of the day you spend staring at a screen, whether it's working or editing YouTube videos. It's always nice to take the opportunity to close the eyes when possible. One last breath. And then bring your head back through center. Let those arms rest down. From here, we'll interlace the hands behind the back. Squeeze the shoulder blades towards each other. With those feet hip width distance, we'll press the hips forward and start to lift the chest up. And then look towards the ceiling using your eyes. Trying not to lift the chin too much here. Take a breath. And as we exhale, bend the knees. Start to fold over the length of your thighs. See if your chest can connect with your thighs, and then allow your arms to fall over the back of your head. Just nodding out through the head a couple of times, maybe shaking it left to right. Letting those arms really get heavy over the back. Beautiful stretch out through the front of the shoulder. And then before we let these hands go, we're going to set them onto the tailbone first. Just a little kinder on the shoulders there. And then allow your hands to rest down towards the floor. Using your fingertips for support, just start to pedal out through the legs from side to side. Finding length through the back of one leg and then the next, just shifting from side to side. Again, this practice is all about moving and being fluid rather than being still and stagnant. So there will be lots of opportunities to just look a little bit silly, I guess. Shift around, move around, feel the space. And then from here, inhale, we'll lift our chest halfway. Keep the right leg where it is. Step your left leg back nice and long. Soften the left knee down. We'll keep those left toes tucked under if we can. Then interlace your hands, rest them on top of your right thigh. And from here, we lean our hips forwards and then push against that right thigh to lift the chest. So notice I'm finding just a gentle bop forwards and back just to increase the length in the front of that left hip into the hip flexors. And then flexing into the right glute just to give a little bit of support for that hip. I find those hip flexors are definitely one of those spaces that tend to lock up after prolonged periods of sitting. So although it may not feel super pleasant, it is going to help out quite a lot. And we'll reach the arms up nice and high. Take an inhale. Like we did when we were standing, right hand's going to catch hold of the left wrist. We're going to take a gentle side bend off to the right hand side. Keep leaning those hips forward. Gaze under that left armpit and feel the left side of the body start to lengthen. Take a full breath in. Exhale, we'll come back through center. Set your fingertips onto the floor, guiding that left knee back, we'll straighten through the right leg and lift the right toes off the mat. From here, using fingertips to lift your chest and work your best to square the hips. So we want to feel the left and the right hip next to each other. So it might be a little bit of shifting and wiggling to try and feel that in your body. And then once you've found it, inhale, arms are straight, we'll lift the chest. Exhale, bend the elbows, we'll lower. I'm going to do that a number of times. So inhale to lift up. Exhale to lower down. That's 2. Let's do it 6 times. So 4 more. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. That's 3 halfway. Maybe you can set your palms flat. Inhale, we lift. Exhale to lower. Notice the breath's getting slower each time. 2 more. Last one. And then we'll slowly start to lift that chest. Maybe pop up onto those fingertips again. Rebend that right knee and lift your left knee off the floor. From here, setting left palm flat, we'll reach the right arm up and overhead, looking up towards that right thumb and feeling that stretch across the body. So from left hand all the way up to right, one nice straight line. If you feel the space and you want to dive a little deeper into that right thigh, let it happen. If you feel like you've got a little more room here, you can soften that knee back down and maybe reach the right arm back to catch hold of the left foot, bending up the left knee. If you've come this far, we fall off onto the outside edge of the right foot, feel a little more space and opening through that right hip. Maybe even push through that left hand to peel that right shoulder back a little more. Maybe even drawing that left heel in towards the left glute, just a fraction more. Inhaling together. And then mindfully letting that left foot go if you've got hold. Both hands inside the right foot. We'll lift the left knee off the mat. And then walk your hands around to the left-hand side. Legs are nice and wide, both straight. Using fingertips, lift your chest halfway. Take an inhale. And then exhale, bend your elbows. Just let yourself fall down over the middle of your thighs. If you feel comfortable here in the space, option 2, take your hands to the back of your head. Allow your head to be nice and heavy here. And just find a little bop. Just finding a little bit of buoyancy here. Feeling the muscles of the quads start to fire up. So feel your legs engage rather than be passive and loose here. Gently slowing that bop down, taking the hands underneath the chest, lifting up halfway, then turning the toes out slightly wider than the heels, bending into the left knee, sitting down nice and deep, allowing your right toes to lift off the mat. And you can use your hands for support here. Left heel still firm and flat, lots of length through that right leg. If you need to lift that left heel off the mat, that's completely fine. You can be up here, but if it's available, try and see if that left heel can stay nice and flat there, and just give you a little more ankle mobility. Take an in-breath. And then making our way to the top of the mat, staying nice and low. We'll walk around, step the left foot up to meet the right. Inhale, let's lift the chest halfway. And exhale to fold forward. Gently rolling up to stand, keeping the head nice and heavy until you reach the top. When you do, circle the arms out wide, reach them tall. Take an in-breath. Exhale, pull your hands through center. Let them rest down, give them a little shake. Preparing to come through our left side now. Hopefully the body's starting to fire up and feel a little more open, a little more warm, and hopefully some more space as well. From here, and keep the arms flowing. Just reach them up. Take a breath. Exhale, we'll fold heavy. Inhale, we lengthen, lift it halfway. Then right leg will step back nice and long. Find the lunge, lower the back knee. Interlace the fingers, set them on top of that left thigh. We'll lean the hips forwards, push against the left thigh to lift the chest. And like we did on the previous side, just feeling a little more space into the front of that back hip, which is the right hip in this case. So a little bop, if you will, forwards and back. Hopefully your floor where you are is a little less squeaky than where I am, but that's all part of the charm, right? These little quirks makes every place we practice special. And arms will reach up. Left hand will catch hold of the right wrist. Take a breath. Exhale, side bend off to the left. Shifting gaze underneath that right armpit. Keep leaning those hips forward as best you can, using the ball of the right foot there to help you stabilize, so keeping those back toes tucked under. Take a breath. And come back through center. Release the hands down. Lengthen your right knee backwards and then straighten out through your left leg. Again, finding what you would consider to be a square set of hips, so pelvis square to the front and back of the mat. And using fingertips here, lift that chest, take a breath. Exhale, we bend the elbows, work to lower. And like we did before, we're going to do 6, so 5 more. Inhale to rise. Exhale to lower. Inhale, we lift. Exhale to lower down. So next 3 all by yourself, just use the breath to guide you. Maybe you notice the breath getting fuller and taking longer each round. Last breath. And lift that chest up, pop onto the fingertips. Left knee bends, we'll elevate that right knee and set your right palm flat, find the twist. Reach your left arm up, push against the earth to feel that opening across your chest. Either stay here in the twist with the back knee lifted, or lower the right knee down and perhaps reach back to catch hold of the right foot with the left hand. And as we did on the previous side, if you've come this far, you can let your left foot start to open out to the left-hand side. Peel that left shoulder back, and maybe even draw that right heel in towards the right glute, just a little more. As we mindfully release right foot, both hands will rest inside the left foot. We'll lift the back knee off the mat, walk the hands around to the right hand side and straddle those legs. Just turning myself around this way so you can see again a little better. Lift your chest up halfway like we did before. Take an inhale. Exhale, work to fold. So before we work the little bop, taking hands to the back of the head, this one's going to be more of a static fold. So if you can, imagine the crown of the head was trying to touch the floor in between your feet. Use the term imagine because that's maybe all we're doing today. You could be up here. Head could be really far away from the floor. If that's the case, just catch the opposite elbows. Let everything hang. And if it feels good, who am I to stop you? Maybe take a little sway from side to side. Certainly wasn't my intention when I first got to the fold. I was going to be static, but this little sway feels really good on those inner thighs, those muscles of the inner thigh and the groin. Use the hands for support, lift the chest halfway. Then as the toes turn out a little wider, this time we bend the right knee. Left toes lift off the mat, we sit nice and deep. Remember, you can be balancing on the ball of your right foot here, or you could have the left heel flat, whatever works. Just lengthening out through that inner left thigh. Take a full breath in. Stay for the out. And stay nice and low as you make your way to the top of the mat. We'll step the right foot up to meet the left. So from here, the journey is going to be down towards the floor. Again, I've just flipped myself around. You can stay exactly where you are. I'm sure you're perfect. So from this forward fold shape, let's lift the chest halfway, get long through the spine, and then elevate your heels as much as you can. Sit your hips back towards your heels. So come towards this little toe sit. If it feels comfortable, I encourage you to lift the heels nice and high. So you're almost balancing your bottom on your heels, and you're feeling that stretch through the bottoms of the toes here. If there's space, I encourage you to take your fingertips behind you. And then from here, we're going to pull the shoulder blades back towards each other, allow the knees to rest on the floor, and work to lift the hips. Your fingertips feel fine and you want to go a little deeper, maybe you can set your palms flat, having your fingers face back behind you, really squeezing those shoulder blades together, firming the glutes, pressing the pelvis away from the heels. Take a breath. Exhale, we'll lower the hips down. Lift the chest, pop up onto the balls of the feet, and then from there, we'll allow ourselves to lower down onto the mat. Nice and easy. Now from here, we're going to bend up the right knee, so right knee faces the front of the room. Take the left foot and pop it outside the right thigh. Adjust your sitting bones so you're evenly grounded. We'll find a seated twist to finish off. So right hand will catch hold of the left thigh. You'll sweep the left arm back behind you. Set the fingertips behind your bum there and peel your left shoulder back. So as you really grip and catch hold of that left thigh, you start to feel this deep sensation through the outside of the left hip. And if you're more familiar with this shape, you can absolutely take your right arm to the outside of your left thigh. That's a great option too. One last breath. Then gently coming back through center. To swap the legs, nice and easy. Take your hands up and off the mat. Unravel your legs, and then bend up your left knee. Take that right foot to the outside of the left thigh. Adjust your sitting bones, sit up nice and tall. Then left hand will catch hold of that right thigh. You'll reach that right arm back behind you, setting the fingertips behind your hips there. Peeling that right shoulder back and lifting that chest. Take an inhale. And bring it back through center. Set the hands behind your hips. Unravel your legs. Setting your feet down. We'll roll the shoulder blades back. Finding reverse tabletop, we'll push to lift the hips up nice and high. Again, it's as high as feels comfortable for you right now. It's just space across the chest. Space across the front of the shoulders. A little stretch out through the biceps and into the forearms as well. Maybe we look up to the ceiling. Take one last breath. As you lower your hips down, give your legs a chance to extend and lengthen out in front of you. Setting fingertips outside the hips. Lift the hips for a moment before setting them back down to even out and flatten those sitting bones onto the floor. Nice and easy without overthinking it. Fold over the length of your thighs, either catching feet or resting arms either side of the shins onto the floor. So by now it's probably time to get back to work. Boss is probably looking for you, or that meeting's finished up. It's time to get back to your desk. As always, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to practice. Hopefully you're feeling a little more space in your body. And you can power through the rest of the day. As always, we'll see you on the mat again soon. Peace.